Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Before we get started, as always, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, so everybody please rise. Councilman Schneider, could you lead us tonight?
In my honor. And if you please remain standing, today is the 75th anniversary of D-Day, and just to stand in observance in memory of the men and women who have sacrificed so much to keep the freedoms of our country alive. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Okay, once again, thank you all for being here this evening, and thank you all at home for watching this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Today's date is Wednesday, June 5th, 2019, and tonight's meeting is a Town Board voting meeting. And for the record, all members are present with the exception of Councilman Lupinacci, who is taking a well-deserved vacation, and I'm sure he's enjoying himself wherever he is, but that's why he couldn't be with us here tonight. Ann Spofford is all the way down to my right, the town clerk, and all the way down to my left is Greg Fulchetti, Carmel Town Council. So the first item is to accept the town board minutes of May 1st, 2019. I need a motion to accept those.
So moved.
So moved by Councilman Schneider, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, first resolution tonight is a resolution making a probationary appointment of senior typist, senior office assistant in the supervisor's office. Councilman Schneider, would you read Resolution 1?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby appoints Joanna Turilli to said position effective June 10th, 2019, at a CSEA Group 2, Step 1 salary level on a probationary basis and subject to the provisions of civil service law and the civil service rules and regulations. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 2, is a resolution making a probationary appointment of senior typist / senior office assistant in the building department. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 2?
Sure. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby appoints Ann Pistay to said position effective June 10th, 2019, at a CSEA Group 2, Step 1 salary level on a probationary basis and subject to the provisions of civil service law and the civil service rules and regulations. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schneider. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. So I'm going to be reading resolutions tonight also, in the absence of Councilman Lupinacci. So I'll be reading resolution number 3. The resolution number 3 is a resolution acknowledging appointment of deputy town clerk. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby acknowledges the appointment of by Town Clerk Ann Spofford of Alice Daly as deputy town clerk, retroactive to May 31st, 2019, at the salary contained in the 2019 budget as adopted. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Borelli. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, with pleasure. Alice Daly is a wonderful person, and she's couldn't find anybody more suitable for that position other than who was there previously to the position of deputy town clerk. And so congratulations, best of luck to Alice. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 4, is a resolution acknowledging appointment of deputy register of vital statistics. Councilman Borelli, would you read 4?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby acknowledges the appointment of Town Clerk by Town Clerk Ann M. Spofford of Alice Daly as Deputy Register of Vital Statistics retroactive to May 31st, 2019, at the salary contained in the 2019 budget as adopted. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 5, is a resolution making appointments to the Town of Carmel Planning Board. Councilman Schneider, would you read 5?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby appoints Robert I. Frankel to the Town of Carmel Planning Board for a term commencing immediately and expiring December 31st, 2025. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes. Great
Councilman
choice.
Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
And Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, excellent choice as well. Thank you. Okay, next resolution is resolution number, what are we on? 6.
6.
Resolution making reappointment to the Town of Carmel Environmental Conservation Board. Susie, would you read 6?
Yes, resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby reappoints Julie McKean to the Town of Carmel Environmental Conservation Board for a term commencing June 13th, 2019, and expiring June 12th, 2022. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded?
Seconded by Councilman Schneider. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution pursuant to Town of Carmel Town Code 156-76. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, pursuant to the Carmel Town Code 156-76, hereby refers the petition for change of zoning filed by Centennial Golf Club of New York LLC dated April 30th, 2019, to the Town of Carmel Planning Board for its review, comment, and/or recommendations. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 8, is a resolution entering into agreement to return of property to original lot lines. Councilman Borelli, would you read 8?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes entry into an agreement with Roger Nault, Ronald Nault, Darlene Neiberger, I apologize if I got it wrong, and Michael D. Benedetta regarding the commencement of proceedings pursuant to Town Law 268 for the return to original lot lines of the property located at 2-6 Rogers Lane, Town of Carmel, tax map 54.8-1-55. And be it further resolved that Town Council Gregory L. Fischetti is hereby authorized to commence proceedings in Supreme Court, County of Putnam, pursuant to the terms of the referenced agreement. And be it further resolved that Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to sign the agreement referenced herein in general form and substance as attached hereto. Offer this resolution as read.
I'll second it.
Yeah, I just have a question, Greg. Do we get to ask questions or see the Exhibit A before we vote?
Right, I think Mr. Schilling's here, he has the map that will be exhibited to the agreement.
All right, so I don't know, what the procedure is.
Well, there's a
First
motion
and
and a
second.
second, and you can have, it's for discussion, and the discussion can be
Perfect.
with whatever you want to ask Mr. Schilling, or you want to discuss amongst yourselves, and then you can take a vote or withdraw the motion. Whatever.
Is Frank getting you there? Is he trying to?
Thanks, Bill. I got it.
Kicking and screaming a little bit? Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
I think we've got it.
And I also have a bigger rendition
Okay.
on a larger map. May I-
Yeah, please.
On your maps are the tax map as what is now, and it shows the 4 houses and the garage on one large lot. And that was the doing of a deed back in 1985, which transferred the entire parcel, all 4 houses and the garage, to one lot. What I have underneath is the 3 lots that existed prior to the 1985 deed. Every one of these lots are identified on your maps as a Liburn page number, different Liburn page, different deed, constituting the legal characteristics of the property prior to the 1985 deed. The survey is done by David Odell. It was done just recently, and all of these lots were created in the 50s, and it consists of 4 dwellings on 3 lots. The lot in the middle has 2 residences on it. So what I submit to you is that the survey rendition is that which legally existed at the time the 1985 deed was executed. And the 1985 deed was executed because the owner was in her 80s and couldn't accept the management and the time involved in paying all the tax bills. And so an attorney in town named Robert Smith transferred it all to here, and that is the tax map that you see on top.
So, Bill, this is the one that you want to go back to the original.
Yeah.
This, you want to go back to the original.
The
The three.
lots
Okay.
are what existed prior to, and this is what exists now on the tax map.
Exists now. Now, because this says that it's like 2.2 acres, is that for the whole lot?
Yeah,
That's for the
each lot
entire?
consists of about 30,000 square feet, a little bit more than 30,000 square feet.
Because I can't, it's too big,
Oh,
I can't read these things.
Bill, are all the dwellings, all the structures located on, when you pull in the road, are they all on, the one is,
All on the right-hand side.
everything's on the right-hand side?
Right.
Okay. All right.
And I would like just to mention one thing. 268 of the town law is on all fours here. Whenever there is an illegal attempt to subdivide or create lots, 268 gives you the right, and I think the obligation, to correct it. This was an attempt, if you could just imagine today somebody taking 3 houses and put in 1 lot, it would be violative of your code. It was violative of your code back then. 63.8 provided you can't create lots without town involvement. So my point to you this evening is, per 268, you have the right, you have the obligation to nullify that which was clearly illegal. And the upside of what you're gaining if you do it is you're going to create lots more in conformance with the code. And it wasn't mentioned, but my client has committed to correct the water system feeding these 4 houses. They're currently just one line servicing them all. And I don't know if you have Rob Vera's memo, but my client is committed to doing a lot of things that's going to eliminate the violation of code as it relates to the
Right, he's going to do the water supply to each individual dwelling.
correct. And I just for the record, I know you've seen this. This is Vera's memo to the board.
They're on pump stations, I think, that serve that. That's on the
They're all
low,
serviced by,
and it's on the low side of that road.
And
That's
also,
below Belden.
they are committed, which can be a condition of your approval this evening, they are committed to place a fire hydrant at the base, which again would be keeping with, I think it's 15690 of your code.
Yeah, that's in the agreement,
Yeah,
is that there will be an installation of fire hydrant there.
yeah.
That's in the agreement.
Any reason they're not going back to 4 original lots like it looks like on the survey?
Because it's not.
I'm just looking at the easterlymost lot is 2 separate areas that it looks like the dividing lot line was just kind of whited out from this 2016.
Well, what
survey.
happened was, on the property at the base was a improved lot and then a vacant lot. And under the 80s merger clause of the town of Carmel, that would have and did merge with the improved lot, creating the 3rd lot.
Okay, so it's just going to go down to the 3, not back to the original 4.
The 4th was a vacant lot, which was only 17,000 square feet. And it's a good point. My client chose not to try to make that a building lot,
Right.
but instead knew that the property had merged per your merger clause in the 80s.
Okay, thank you.
Bill, the houses on the left, when you pull in Rogers Lane, those are all separate.
There's
On the left? That has, so the houses on the left, pulling in Rogers Lane, have nothing to do with this, correct?
nothing to do with this.
Are they on their own separate lots, those houses?
Yes.
They are?
Yes.
You live on, your house is on one of the lots, sir?
This is Mr. Nault.
Oh, Mr. Knoll, okay.
Hi,
So,
Mr. Noel.
all right, so you live on the left side, pulling in Rogers Lane, you're on the left, but these properties that we're discussing tonight are all on the right?
Correct.
On the right side? Okay. And the last house on the left, on Rogers Lane, who owns that house? The last house on the left.
How old is it?
Who owns it? Who owns that lot?
I
It's
own
all owned
that.
by one
last
person.
Oh, it's all one,
But not the other houses.
okay. So the houses on the left are all owned by you also?
No, just one.
Just
Last
one?
one,
How many houses are on the left? I thought there was more than one.
There's three, and two are separately owned by
Oh,
others.
so two of the other parcels, houses are separately owned?
Yeah.
Got it, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's like 51.
And is Rogers Lane going to stay the condition that it's in now? It's going to stay a private road?
I'm gonna maintain it, yes.
Okay,
Now doesn't maintain it anymore.
okay. So you're going to maintain it?
Yes.
It's not going to become a town road? Okay. Got it. All right, I understand it better now, Mr. Knoll, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.
Any other?
Any other questions for Mr. Knoll or Mr. Schilling?
No, but do we need to add that to the agreement that it's a private road or no?
It is a private road.
It's always been.
It's not contemplated to be dedicated, and I'm not sure that
Yeah.
we want to go in that direction no matter what.
Okay.
And the hydrant is going to be installed at the end of the road?
At the base of
All right.
the last house, yeah.
Is the water main fairly accessible from there?
It's a town water that's currently in place.
The main is,
Extending the main from Belden Road down to the end, terminate at a fire hydrant, it will also afford the other two houses less expensive opportunity to have their own water system.
oh, okay. So the main from Belden Road is going to be extended down Rogers Lane to the end. Hydrant will be installed at that point, terminate, and then the other homes will have access to the main after, and you're going to pay for the cost of all of that?
Yes.
Okay,
At least have individual service connections instead of all drawing off one service connection.
right. So they'll have individual service connections.
Off the town main.
Got it. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, Bill. Susie, Jonathan, any further questions? Susie? Mike, you good? Okay, roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
No.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. Motion carried. 3 yeses and 1 no. Okay, next resolution, number 9, is a resolution authorizing budget modifications. Councilman Schneider, would you read 9?
Well, that all of you guys, we've been dealing with this for close to 3 years now, since they get this, we'll all sleep better.
We'll sleep better, okay. All right, you do that, thank you. Thanks for being here, you're welcome. Have a good night. Yeah, bye now.
Resolution 9. Whereas Town Comptroller Marianne Maxwell has reviewed the proposed final budget modifications for period ending April 30th, 2019 with the Town Board, which are detailed and explained on the attached budget revision schedule, number 2019/02. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes and ratifies final budget modifications and revisions for the period ending April 30th, 2019, as shown itemized on the schedule number 2019/02, attached hereto, incorporated herein, and made a part hereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second?
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough, roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 10, is a resolution purchase and installation of technology upgrades for the Town of Carmel Town Hall. Susie, would you read 10, please?
Shall resolve that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the purchase and acquisition of desktop computer and printer replacements from Hewlett Packard in accordance with the attached schedule in the sum of $20,788.10. Be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes various infrastructure improvements and replacement of aged UPS units, batteries, memory upgrades, and all installation and configuration services required in connection therewith as provided by Sullivan Data in accordance with the attached schedule in the aggregate amount of $13,034.76. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schneider and Councilman Borelli, roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 11, is a resolution authorizing advertisement for bid. Resolved that pursuant to the request of Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell and Assistant to the Town Board Ann Pasquarello, The town board hereby authorizes town clerk Ann Spofford to advertise for bids in connection with the proposed purchase and installation of a new server for the IT equipment, facilities, and services at Town Hall. And be it further resolved that the detailed specifications are to be furnished for the above to town clerk Ann Spofford to be used in conjunction with the town's general bid conditions and specifications. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 12, is a resolution authorizing a refund of a fee. Councilman Borelli, would you read 12?
Resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Director of Codes Enforcement, Michael Carnazza, hereby authorizes the refund and return of duplicate gas connection fee in the amount of $50 previously paid for the premises at 110 Cary Street, tax map 85.16-1-47, in the amount of
Bless you.
$50.
Thank you.
I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 13, is a resolution authorizing purchase of vehicles and equipment for the Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Schneider, would you read 13, please?
Resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel authorizes the purchase of the following vehicles and equipment pursuant to New York General Municipal Law, Section 103-16. Two 2020 7500 SFA 4x4 International trucks with dump body, snowplow package from Arco Motors of New Windsor, New York, under Onondaga Bid Award Contract Number 8996, in an aggregate cost not to exceed $526,612. Two mobile lifts from Mohawk Lifts under contract PL 67221 at a cost not to exceed $50,000, and one 2020 Ford F550 4x4 chassis with dump body and snowplow packages, an aggregate cost not to exceed $71,000. Be it further resolved, Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt and/or Highway Superintendent Michael Simone are hereby authorized to sign any and all documentation necessary to accept the proposal and authorize the actions contained herein. Be it further resolved, the Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 14, is a resolution authorizing repairs to Carmel Sewer District Number 2. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 14?
Shall resolve that the town board of the town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of Carmel Sewer District Number 2, and upon the recommendation of town engineer Richard J. Franzetti, hereby authorizes performance of generator repairs at the Houston Road South Pump Station within Carmel Sewer District Number 2. Said repairs to be performed by MagPro Services, Carmel, New York, at a cost not to exceed $11,700, and in accordance with the proposal dated May 7th, 2019. And be it further resolved, the Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget revisions to effect the repairs authorized herein. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded?
Seconded by Councilman Schneider. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 15, is a resolution awarding a bid for HVAC unit replacement. Whereas the town board of the town of Carmel has previously authorized advertisement for the solicitation of bids for the purchase and installation of a new rooftop air conditioning unit at Carmel Town Hall. Whereas such bids were received and opened on May 10, 2019, and whereas town engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., has recommended awarding of the bid as set forth hereafter. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel hereby awards the bid for the installation of said unit to HRR Industries, Inc. of Brewston, New York, at a cost not to exceed $83,620. And as is further resolved, that upon presentation of certificates and bonds in form acceptable to town council, Supervisor Ken Schmidt is hereby authorized to execute any and all documentation necessary to accept and effect the authorization set forth herein. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by the rest of the board. Susie, Mike, and Jonathan, roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And I just want to state that this air conditioning unit that we're purchasing for the meeting room, it can also produce heat. So it's not only air conditioning, but it's a heat pump. It has a heat pump in it as well, because as you all know, this room in the dead of winter is extremely cold because it's only heated by these baseboard heaters, and they're not very efficient. They don't do a great job. So the new air conditioning unit is going to pump heat during the winter months as well. So it should be nice and toasty in here in January, February, maybe December too. So it's always cold in here. All the windows too, these windows are single pane glass, and that doesn't help. Whoever designed this building didn't design it very well. Well, the meeting room anyway. All right, next resolution, 16, is a resolution authorizing advertisement for bid rehabilitation of municipal water storage tanks. Mike Borelli, would you read 16, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Water Districts 2, 3, 8, 9, and 14, and pursuant to the request of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, the Town Board hereby authorizes Town Clerk Ann Spofford to advertise for bids in connection with the proposed rehabilitation and repairs of the water storage tanks located within the referenced water districts. And be it further resolved that the detailed specifications are to be furnished for the above to the Town Clerk Ann Spofford to be used in conjunction with the town's general bidding conditions and specifications. I offer this resolution as read.
Second. Okay.
All right, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, Councilman Borelli. So the 17th and final agenda item tonight is a resolution.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have 18. What am I saying? Okay. Thank you, sir. So 17 is a resolution authorizing the awarding of bids for purchase and supply of chemicals for wastewater treatment plants, Carmel Sewer Water Districts 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7, Carmel Water Districts 2, 3, 8, and 12. Councilman Schneider, would you read 17?
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel has previously authorized advertisement for the solicitation of bids for purchase and supply of chemicals for the wastewater treatment plant servicing Carmel Sewer Districts number 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and the water treatment facility servicing Carmel Water Districts 2, 3, 8, and 12. And whereas such bids were received and opened, and Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., has recommended the awarding of the bids to Slack Chemical Supply of Patterson, New York. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Sewer Districts number 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and Carmel Water Districts number 2, 3, 8, and 12, hereby awards the bid for the purchase and supply of chemicals in said districts to Slack Chemical Supply of Patterson, New York, the lowest responsible bidder who met specifications at the unit prices contained within the bid sheets on file in the Office of the Town Engineer and the Office of the Town Clerk. I offer this resolution as read.
Second. I can't stop you.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Service connection. Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, the 18th and final resolution, is a resolution authorizing signing of change order number 3, Carmel Water District number 2, Water Main Replacement Project, Contract C-246. Susie, would you read the final and 18th resolution?
Sure, whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel has previously awarded the contract for the above project to Legacy Supply LLC, and whereas Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., has recommended that the Town Board approve change order number 3 to the aforesaid contract. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Water District number 2, hereby authorizes the Town Supervisor to sign change order number 3 to the aforementioned contract, resulting in no increase or decrease to overall contract price. Said change order to be in form as attached hereto and made a part hereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Seconded.
Seconded. And I just want to state that the delay is caused by some difficulties that the contractor was having with service connections to the new main. So I believe they're working through those difficulties that they were having, and this is a no-cost change order. It's just a change in substantial completion dates. Roll call vote?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, that completes the Town Board's voting meeting agenda for tonight. Is there any members of the public that are here with us now that would like to come up and comment on the agenda items only at this time that we discussed tonight? Norman?
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to know, besides the company you awarded the air conditioning and heating unit 2. Who else bid on that project?
There was 7, it went out to 7.
I know, things go out to people, but who bid on it? That's
Well,
the
you
key.
want to know who bid on it?
Yeah,
And could you get Norman the list of who bid on it?
and how much did they bid?
Yeah, okay. All right, Rob does? All right, we can get you that, Norman.
It was on the work
It
session.
was on the work session last week.
2 weeks ago.
I wasn't at the work
Were
session.
you here 2 weeks ago, Norman?
I was here, but I don't remember anybody getting awarded the bid.
It was, yeah, there was.
It was on the work
It was at the work. We'll get it to you.
It doesn't matter, I'm asking you a question
Well, I
tonight.
don't, we'll get it to you.
Thank you. And also, there was a bid authorizing the purchases of the chemicals for the sewer districts. Could I also have that, please? And the main project, and number 17 and 18. I'd like to, well, 16 too. Spend a lot of money in this
The
town.
17, there's a lot going
So-
on.
Yeah, I know.
These are all on last week's work
It's all on-
sessions with all the information given.
It's on the website.
Back up,
It's on the website,
it's on the website.
No?
the backup.
You could
All the
read it right on the
backups on the
computer.
website.
Listen, I'll file a FOIL then. I don't know what you're doing here. You keep telling me about what was last week. I'm here asking you this week.
Well,
And I'm
what-
saying to you, if you look on the computer at last week's agenda, you can go through it all, and you can get all your answers without foiling anything and costing the taxpayers money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I'm
telling you.
costing the taxpayers money?
That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask you something. I just seen an article in the newspaper
Yeah, me too.
about you hooking up to the sewer system. Did you have a permit? They don't have a permit.
Norman.
No.
Norman, this is not agenda items. You went off the
Oh,
agenda.
Okay, I'm through with agenda. Let me know.
No, here, Norman, you asked for this, here you go.
Right.
We have it for you, right there.
Yeah, and Agenda 18 wouldn't have any bids. That was a
Right.
change order, and that was no cost.
Correct.
The 16 you're
Okay, I
And-
see who was here. I just asked what did they bid. That's okay.
Well,
I'll get it.
all right,
Thank you very much.
all right.
Is it now, do I have to
All right,
sit down
well,
or do the other?
Well, there might be other people here that want to speak
Okay.
on agenda items.
I understand.
What happens at a
Work session? Well, Norman knows. Norman was on the board.
Kenny, I know that.
All right.
Just go over it so they understand. Like, everything that we vote on was done prior with all of the backup.
All right.
Just so the public understands.
Okay, so the
We're
way,
just not doing it.
it's,
Anyway,
All right.
tell
Last
anybody
time I
out
was
there
here
that
about
it's
the TV, you said that the contract has been awarded already and signed, and it wasn't, Mrs. McDonough.
I didn't say that.
Oh, yes, you did. You
Okay.
whispered in his ear that it was
Norman.
done, and he said,
Norman,
okay, it was
I'm glad you're a
done.
lip reader and you can read my lips. I'm not going to
I am a good
this.
lip reader,
What-
especially
what I'm
when I
saying-
can see you saying,
What
tell
I'm
him it was
saying to
done.
the public is, how the town board works, we meet every Wednesday, I'm talking to the public, is that we have a voting meeting, we have work sessions. At the work session, we go through pretty much everything. We ask the questions, we have the backup, everything is available online, and then during the meetings here, in case somebody wants to say. But like Norman says, you weren't there, so you didn't get it. But it is available, the backup is available on, if I'm not mistaken, Annie, on,
Right on the
always on
calendar.
the website, on the calendar, on our website. So we're not trying to hide anything, and it should have everything, and it doesn't have something that you're looking for, by all means, contact, Annie. Including the videos of the meeting. Yes, and the videos of the meeting, including Annie. So just so the public knows, we don't usually just put stuff on a voting meeting without discussing it at a work session. I just wanted to clarify that
no.
for the public, so the public understands.
thanks.
But, people miss it, and they want to ask the questions, which I have absolutely no problem, people asking questions, because we're.
Democracy.
Yeah, it's a democracy, everybody's allowed to ask questions, and hopefully we have the answers.
And we do spend a lot of money, so it's
Yeah,
not bad to just make sure.
yep, agree.
Yeah, but we do our due diligence before we spend the money.
Yeah, we'd like to.
Always.
We'd like to do our best.
do
I'm
that.
not going to say that there's not areas that we couldn't save $1 here, $1 there, but for
Right.
efficiency and delivery of services, I think we're
absolutely,
doing
yeah.
a decent job.
Yeah, and we try, just for the benefit of the public also, when we go out to bid or seek proposals or quotes, we always send multiple requests out to vendors who are in the line of work or the business that we're soliciting proposals or bids from. We send out 8, 10, 12 notices to vendors that they can come and pick up a bid packet or specifications, and they could bid on the particular item. The fact that they don't return them is outside of our control, all right? We would hope that we get multiple ones back, but we don't always, that doesn't always happen, all right? So we do the best we can to try to solicit proposals or bids from vendors. We can't force them to give us a price.
Oh, I know that. Well, I asked if, when you send out a bid proposal, inviting people to come in and bid on it, do you send it return receipt requested so we know if it was actually sent? I think you're all honest, yeah, but I want to know if it was actually sent. I put in a foil, I didn't get the return receipt requested for the TV equipment. I mean, yeah, they said they sent it, and I believe them, but I
They
still
pick 'em
want
up.
to see.
They pick them up at the clerk's
Most of the time,
office.
they pick them up. because
How do
most
you
of the time-
notify them?
And-
Kenny,
And
excuse me.
All right, Andy, would you answer that?
Sure. With regard to the larger projects, such as the engineering project, there's usually a fee involved. So it's either $25 or $50 for the bid specifications. So we know that they've gotten the bid specs because they paid the fee.
And I know you're a long time, I'm not debating what you just said. What I am saying, though, is there's statements made here that you get a bunch of people that are in the business that you want to get whatever service from, and you send a notice out to them that what Ann said is that they can come in and pick it up, and if they want to pay the $25 and they pick it up, they pick it up. But now I have to go by faith that what you're telling me is that you notified all these vendors and they didn't come in to pick it up. If you're going to notify them by mail, a return receipt should be requested. And that these people actually notified.
It's not, no, it goes out on BidNet. Did you ever hear, you know what BidNet is?
But
We use BidNet, and we also use the county vendors list as well, Putnam County's list of vendors. We reach out to as many vendors as we possibly can. And we contact them. The engineering department contacts them to let them know that we're going to be bidding out a certain job.
I
If you would
understand
like- So
what
we
you
do,
said,
we
Ken.
do our best to try to get to as many as we can.
I understand, but
Unfortunately-
if you are specifically inviting certain vendors, which I've heard happened with the TV equipment, and I'm waiting to talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to talk about that when it's open to the other stuff, so I won't talk about it now, but I'll come back. I still think that if you have specific people that you said we go, you should get a return receipt so we know they received it. There's things, and I'm not accusing anybody here of it. Bid rigging is a gigantic problem in this country. So
And
that's
we
it.
we do not engage in bid rigging.
I didn't say,
rigging
didn't
here.
I just say I don't?
Well,
I
you're
didn't say
making a
anything?
statement that it's a big problem in this country. I agree
Not
with
you,
you.
it doesn't have to be you.
But I agree with you that it is, but it doesn't go on here.
Okay.
Thanks, Norman.
Would we be sufficing our obligation by simply putting it on BidNet and not even going and sending anyone a notice? Right, I mean, it's all on the internet, it's open, it's public, it's,
Yeah, BidNet is huge, and there's many, many vendors that are on BidNet. So, I don't know, short of driving the bid packet to the vendors and handing it to them and saying, please bid on this, you're not always gonna get a response.
Right.
Ken,
I don't
all
feel
I
like
am
it's-
saying, if it is stated at this forum that you have mailed, which it has been stated before, all I'm saying is get a return receipt. Is that so hard? I don't think it's so hard. That's all I'm saying.
Town clerk?
You can put it on whatever website you like and everything, just get a return receipt if you're gonna mail it to people. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else here for agenda items only at this time? Come on up.
No.
in his 10 years, did he have any bids ever go out?
John Butler from Hamlet of Carmel.
How are you, John?
I don't know. Living the dream, what can I tell you?
Go ahead, say it, Ducky.
On the HVAC, I personally believe this room should be as cold as possible at all times. It makes the meetings go faster, it gets everyone out of here quicker. And whether or not we did our due diligence, did we ever look at buying blankets that people could wear? It's
So
just
you're not in favor of the heat pump and the...
And nah, it's just that blankets will be fantastic.
Just
Green
likes the AC
alternative
part
will
of
be,
it.
will be very, I'm only kidding. So seriously, and I may have missed this in the work session as far as documentation is concerned. On agenda item number 7, the petition as far as the zoning change for Centennial, I didn't see the petition as a backup document for this meeting, and anything that involves Centennial, there's like 70 houses bordering. It's probably nothing, but was that in the work session? I just want to see what the petition is, to be perfectly honest with you. Or what it
It's on file
entails.
with the supervisor's office and the town clerk. I don't think it was a work session item last week because the board is not discussing it. They have an obligation under the town code to refer it to the
Do we
planning
know
board.
generally what it entails?
Yeah, I think they want to put a zone change that would allow for a cluster of 90 single-family
Oh, that's
homes
all?
on one of the portions of the course.
And here we go. Okey dokey. So how does one go ahead and get that petition? From what office? And
We have it. Supervisor's office has it. I don't know if the clerk has it.
Clerk have a copy of it?
Absolutely.
I can email it to you.
It should be coming out. It's been talked about for years. It's no surprise to me. Another reason why I'm sitting here.
But
And
John, Ann has a copy of it. You can
Been
pull it
talked
up.
about for years, John.
Oh, do you?
And, yeah.
Can you give it? That'd be fantastic.
We'll see
That's
how
great.
Centennial works, and if Centennial doesn't work at 27 holes, well, we'll just make it, 9 or 18 holes and build a couple hundred houses.
No rest for the weary, I swear, honestly. One last item, water. So the item number 16, rehabilitation of the municipal water storage tanks.
Yeah.
So I read the reports. The Everett Road storage tank is like a science fiction movie. It can't even exist, it's so bad. So in that report, there were 3 items, work items, that were emergency items. One was the sediment at the bottom, which they say is a generator of contamination, in the water that's distributed. The second one was the vent at the top of the tank, which I'll talk about in a second. And the third, I didn't write down and I can't remember.
I think it was access to the ladder.
Oh, was it?
I think it was something in regards
Okay,
to
the
access to the
security
ladder.
thing. So just on the vent part, very, very quickly, because I've been talking about this for years, an actual event that occurred, near a business colleague of mine in Massachusetts, where virtually the exact same tank buckled, collapsed, and released 500,000 gallons of water and caused millions of dollars of damage. So when I read the report, the vent is a vent on the top of the tank, and effectively it serves to equalize the air pressure in the tank to the air pressure outside the tank. So the valve has failed, it's inviting contamination into the tank, but more importantly, based on my reading of the report, it's adversely affecting, or could adversely affect, the air pressure equalization between inside and outside, which could result in a buckling and therefore collapse of the tank. So that's that specific. So my question to you is, I get the fact that we're going out to bid for repairs, but these are emergency items. Has there been any action taken as respects those 3 emergency items?
No,
I don't know.
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so, and I think that there's over a dozen emergency items on that total report, not just for one tank. And I
Okay.
think that's why we're doing this, to get it all done at once and try to streamline this as quickly as we can to make sure that everything's addressed efficiently.
Okay, here's the guy with the time frame questions again. So we have emergency items, one of which is a catastrophic failure, not to mention contamination issues. So when is the time frame? When is the work going to be performed, or at the very least, the emergency work. Emergency means emergency.
Greg,
means
can you help us with a
surgical.
timeline? 'Cause I think we're talking about this like this summer.
It should be a couple weeks. for
Yeah,
the
in terms of the bids, no more than 30 days to come back. I don't expect there's going to be a great number of bids, just because that service is not in long supply locally. And then you probably would be doing it sometime during the course of the summer,
Okey-doke.
probably later summer.
All right, got it. Blankets, remember, blankets.
Blankets,
We just need fans right now, just little hand fans.
heating blankets.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, John. Okay, is there anyone else here for agenda items at this time? Come on up. Okay, there being none, I'm going to open up the floor now to general public comment for new business. Open forum portion of the meeting, where you can come on up and address the town board. 3-minute rule, and you have to be a resident, business owner, or a taxpayer in the town of Carmel to speak at this portion of the meeting. Norman, come on up.
You know, I find this to be a joke, 3 minutes. The man on the end there stood here for hours, talking and talking and talking and talking to you, and you all doing like, yes, Mr.
Norman,
You know, I
Norman,
swear, what are you
you're-
doing, 3
you're
minutes?
eating-
I never did that.
Norman.
Get to the point.
Yeah, okay, I'm getting to the point. The point is, there's a list, I got this a bidding list that, for the TV station, rebuilding the TV station, $186,000. And I was told that this list was generated by the gentleman who came in here and made the list of the equipment you need. So the same guy who came in and say, oh, we need this, this, and this, and he's the winner of the bid, by the way. He shouldn't have been allowed to bid once he came in here and acted like he was a consultant. Consultants don't bid on jobs. At any rate, he recommended a number of people, one of them being B&H Photo Video, which is an online store that you call up and you order stuff from. I'm sure they don't put in studios. Another guy is located in Mount Kisco, and all they have is TV, home TV entertainment. Another guy who put in a bid,
Westchester County.
he put in a bid, is in Orangeburg, New York. He put in a bid for $212,000 or something. And another name he gave you works for that guy who put in the bid for $212,000. So I was told that these were mailed out to these people. Another guy is in well, by the way, the one who put in the second highest bid is a guy that all he does is events. He goes, you want to have an event, a party? That's what he does. He'll set up a stage for you. He does all that. He doesn't do studios that I know of. He didn't say that on his website. This other guy who, More Productions in New Jersey, he does events, an event planner. Entertainment technology, well, I told you about that one already. And color tone video, he, again, only sells same pictures on his site as the site in Mount Kisco. That's at least that's what I seen. So all these people here are referred by the guy who told you what you need. And one thing he told you need racks in that room. Those racks don't fall apart, I don't think. They just sit there. And you put the equipment on the racks. But over here, they cost anywhere from, $900 up. Why do you got to replace racks? And now I'm also asking, I foiled, you told me there's repairs. These mics don't work. They seem to work pretty good. People, are you getting the video? Would you call the town hall and tell them you're getting the video? They want to spend $186,000 of your money. This is baloney. Mr. Barella, you told me you agreed with me.
I do.
Right? You put up all of these, read
I think it's insane. I agree with you.
Okay.
Norman,
And second, did you come in like these people tonight who came in and said, we want to hook up to the sewer system and we want to, join the property again? Or did you just hook up, as I read in the newspaper,
No, I go
the
to
sewer line?
I go to the zoning, the town board first. I go to the planning board.
Norman,
and
stick
But
to one topic.
the newspaper said there is no record of it.
Mr. Marino,
Yes,
stick to one topic,
Mr.
please.
Schmidt.
You're off topic. Can we get back to why you...
Oh, why, you're gonna cancel that order for
No, I want
$186,000?
to explain something to you.
Yes.
Oh, you are?
I want to explain something to you.
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Schmidt. We know each other a long, long time. Explain.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah. The vendors that we sent out the packages to, the bid spec packages to,
Yeah.
the list of vendors we got from Westchester County.
And I'm telling you what I was told.
Westchester County provided us with vendors that do all the studio upgrades for Westchester County.
B&H was their number one pick.
The number one pick was B&H. So that's how we, Ann will tell you,
They didn't sit a bid in, did they?
they did not. No, I don't know why they. I don't
That's
know
why
they
I'm
did.
asking you, how do I know they really got the bid?
How do we know who got the bid?
B&H.
It's an RFP, so the word bid is a mischaracterization. It's a professional services. It's not governed by the GML, it's governed by your procurement policy. So just for purposes of the discussion, you should say proposal. It's not a bid.
Okay, the proposals, how do thank you.
Fair enough. I just want to clarify that it's a
No,
proposal, not
that's
a
what
bid.
you're getting paid for.
That's why I'm here.
But,
All right. Ann called each vendor. Ann Pescarella called each vendor
yes,
and gave them the information about the packet. The spec-
For their address and to make sure the address was correct. And they
So
verified.
they requested the specs, the bid specs.
I can,
And mailed them.
I don't want to cut you
I
off.
can't twist their arm to get them in here to give us a number.
Can.
Give us so
Ken,
I can't emphasize that enough, Norman, is that we've tried. We're trying to get vendors to bid projects around here.
Kenny,
Did you know we're trying to get a concrete job done over here on the side of the building? It's all scaling. We reached out to 4 local vendors, 4 masons that were all very
oh, you
familiar.
mean to mow the wall? Yeah.
The decking.
Yeah, I
here is all
understand what you're
scaling.
saying, yeah.
Only one gave us a proposal.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, you know what I did? I don't like to do this, but I went on social media, I went on Facebook, and I asked, does anybody have information or names of local masons that I could reach out to?
That's good. I
And
didn't
I
say
got
that's
a bunch of
wrong.
them. I got a bunch of them,
That's
all right?
good.
But-
Just-
but
That,
I
that
don't
job,
like-
that job's under the bid threshold. So you're soliciting
It's
proposals.
It's under the
bid
threshold.
threshold.
It's under the threshold.
I'm
But-
not faulting you for doing
But
anything
I wasn't
like
happy,
that.
Normally, because I wasn't happy with one proposal.
That's
And I'm
great.
still not happy until we get more, all right? Because-
That's what I want to see you do,
So
Kenny.
that's what I'm doing.
But they're not
That-
coming in.
and I
They're
didn't,
not coming
They're not coming in. I agree with you. They're not coming in.
Wait,
What
but
do you-
I think
Excuse
what.
me.
What do you
no,
do
but
when they don't come in?
I think what Norman is asking, if maybe if we would take a look at it, the bids that were mailed out, I'm just saying for this proposal, but it could be for any of them. If, instead of just mailing them out, if we can mail them out with a return receipt requested, so we know that they got it, and if they don't bring it back, send something back.
well, they don't have to come in and get it, but you got to know that they got it to come in.
Just to verify, I think that's what he's asking the town board, if we would be willing to take a look at making a new procedure. And when we mail bids out, to do return receipt requested, so when they come back in.
Certified
they
mail,
can say
something
they
that
get
it
it.
went there.
This
I
day and
mean-
age, can we just do an email with
So,
read return receipt?
Email with
I mean,
return
Email with
receipt
a receipt,
request.
do it.
I think that's what he's asking.
If that's really that much of a concern,
That's fair
I
enough.
think that would be
Okay.
That's fair.
an easy
All right.
solution.
I'm glad we're getting somewhere a little
Make
bit.
it
But
proper.
again, the problem here too, as I understand it, you're telling me, Kenny, that, and I'm not gonna call anybody maybe mistaken, yes, but I was told where this information came from. Okay, I was told it came from the gentleman who did the evaluation of the equipment.
No, it did not. It absolutely did not. It came directly from Westchester County. Who told you that that consultant gave us that?
I'm not gonna get into it, who told me.
Okay, but Norman, the truth is, and we'd like to speak the truth
I
around here.
need people to tell me things, so I'm not gonna rat them out.
You don't have to, all right? But the truth is, and Ann will attest to this, and you trust Ann, right?
Yeah, I told you to keep Ann when you got elected. Don't fire her in.
Well, she's still here.
Yeah, she is.
It was a good decision, too. Great choice.
I know it was.
All right, so Ann reached out to Westchester County. They gave her that list of vendors. She spoke to them, she contacted
Okay.
them.
Well, Ann, how did you get this? I don't want to.
No, don't put Ann on the spot.
No, I know. I don't want to question. I could talk to Ann myself. But it's simple. Like Mrs. McDonough said, it's simple to rectify where you got it. You make, like a log of who you contacted, put their name in, so we know that everything's going. But
I think that's a great suggestion, Norman, and we're going to do it.
that we also get receipts that they got the stuff. But the point here
All right,
is
Ann?
that
I'm sorry.
It could be,
I'm sorry.
by email also.
It could be by email.
as long as you get a return receipt.
Email acknowledgement.
Anyway, I'm
Right.
just trying to say, first of all, I don't think we need it, okay? That's my opinion. It goes out every week. People are seeing it every week. All of a sudden, we need this. I don't know why, okay? I really don't know why. I want to know, and I put in a foil for it, why and what got fixed.
The equipment is ancient, Norman. It's like
Do you
us.
know that
It's like
Comcast
you.
has ancient
It's like
equipment?
you. It's like you. It's like me.
Oh, man, I'm still here though, right?
But we're aging.
I'll be here until
We're aging. The equipment in that
I'll be
studio,
here until I'm in Rose Hill.
the equipment in there is aging. We've replaced a lot of equipment in there because it failed. And
That's okay. So
and-
you replace it, you gotta go spend $186,000.
The
I
whole-
told you, I can get you a package, $5,000, you
I-
could take it on the road,
and I
you could do
called,
everything.
and I called those people, these folks.
He says he doesn't have it?
No, I spoke to him.
That's
You know what
30
you know what
that's
he said?
35,000.
He said, this is your basic unit right here. When you add all the add alternates, all the à la carte stuff.
Like
he said,
what?
All the à la carte stuff,
Like
everything
what?
that we're gonna need. This doesn't satisfy everything that we need
You
here.
got it upside down.
Is it? Oh.
You have to
But,
put the string.
but I did call them. I called them 3 or 4 times. The gentleman's a great guy. I had all kinds of discussions with him about our studio here.
But the
I
only thing you
explained-
say you need is 4 cameras. An extra camera costs a couple of $1,000s.
No, you need the capability to live stream. You need the capability of filming 2 meetings at once. When the planning board meets, they have to be able to record both of them,
When we have one in there.
Well,
and
okay.
possibly 3.
I advise you to go
I-
online you know where you said you
Yeah.
used the YouTube or whatever?
No.
Go and look at it. You'll see them doing everything you said they can't do, okay? And you'll see the package I told you for $5,000. It's in the backpack that you can do whatever you want. You can hook up, I think, 5 cameras to it, and you could go out on the street, when you have in the band stuff, the park, you could bring it there. You could do all that. And the people could see it. They don't have to come to the park, but they want them to come to the park. I understand.
The Memorial Day
But
ceremonies.
it runs, yes, anything you want to do.
Yeah.
When you go to the
Well,
site.
maybe we'll look into getting that too. as
No, two. I don't want you to spend more. I want you to
Spend some more
spend
money.
less. 2, no, Kenny.
I think it's a great thought, Norman. I appreciate it.
I hope you don't get this stuff because I'm going to be back and back and back. Thank you for listening.
Come to the work sessions though, Norman, because that's where a lot of it's discussed and a lot of good information comes out
I
of the
told
work
you this last time.
Can
I
you
used
come
to
to the
get
wor-
paid $17,000 a year to go there, but I spent more than that trying to get elected. So I didn't get anything, but now I'm tired of coming here for nothing, except my taxes are through the roof. And I told you this last time, the town taxes, they're a small portion of it. But I don't care if it was 10 cents. It still doesn't matter. People, especially like you said, I'm older, yes.
I said I
I'm
was
living
older
off
too,
of certain
not you.
things, and I can't keep saying up. Okay, Ken? And there's no reason for this. If this was I would be 100% fine. I'm the one who made them put this
know.
damn thing in.
Hey,
And
Norman.
go ahead.
Hey, Norman.
Tell me.
This is why you have no credibility.
Tell
with
me. Go ahead. Tell me.
Because I have the receipts and the checks and the videos For 3 years of that,
Of
that me
what?
and my late partner who's on that wall paid for that camera.
Oh, yeah?
Okay?
Well, let
So
me
you
tell
can
you
take
something.
all
You're
the
a
credit
liar.
you
Now I'm
want.
calling you a liar.
you're
The only
calling me a
reason you
liar?
came in, the only reason you came in here with it,
Norman, ask Frank Del Campo who
the
put
only
it
reason
in.
you came in with it was after I was demanding
Go
it.
away, Norman, you just
Oh.
lost your credibility again.
Oh, yeah, what are you, sneaky sewer man? Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
sneaky
yeah.
sewer
All
man.
right. Anyone else? Yes, Dave.
Bob was gonna leave if he turned around.
You should.
Dave, and I got a call today too from,
Did you call him back?
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
spoke with him too.
We're speaking on, we don't have to meet. He said there's no reason to meet.
He
We'll
doesn't
take
want
care
to.
of it over the phone.
Okay, that's not what I'm here about.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about whether you're really considering spending a bunch of money to have somebody kill off a bunch of Canadian geese again, and how ridiculous that was the other times. It's a couple of landowners on the lake with a big lawn that don't feel like putting up some ribbons or flags to keep them off their land and expect all the taxpayers to pay for it, or all the lakefront taxpayers, I should say. I'm on that lake all the time in the summer. I never see a Canadian goose on that lake. There isn't a problem. And last time you did this, I spoke to one of those lakefront advisory board members, and the only thing he could tell me is that they did it because they're dirtying up his front yard. The whole idea is insane. Is there going to be a public meeting on this?
It'll be on a work session. There'll be discussion at a work session before we vote to actually authorize the
Somebody-
cost of it.
Somebody's got to be retained to do whatever the work you're going to authorize.
Right.
So it'll be in a work session. And then a voting.
Those came in from the Lake Advisory Groups.
The Lake Advisory Committee is the one who brought this forward.
Right.
The Lake Park District.
And it was one of those members who told me it was because of his lawn got dirty last time. So that's, why should the taxpayers pay $10,000 to murder a bunch of birds that could be just shooed away
Well,
for nothing?
Chamber Park is also getting dirtied up by
Okay,
them
but
as well.
can't they put up some ribbons and some of
Well,
those
we had
pinwheel
dogs, we had
things?
fake dogs out there. We had the cutouts of dogs.
We could put up speakers out there, we
make
could put
those
up a ton of different
noisemaker
things out
things
there.
with a motion
I was at
detector.
Fraser today, and I was picking
The
up a
only thing that
paintbrush, and I
stops-
saw some woman who came in and she got a chemical labeled goose
Offensive.
deterrent that she puts on her garden. There's probably a million different things that we can do that should be done instead of going around and shaking goose eggs and trying to shoot geese and.
I never vote
I think there's a million different ways.
Maybe.
We got a bigger issue over on
Maybe.
Sycamore. Sycamore, we gotta close up that lake annually because Department of Health says we have fecal contamination, probably from too many geese out there as well.
Would you swim in Sycamore Lake either
Absolutely
way?
not. I sent my daughter to Sycamore Park and she would cry when they had to go over to Sycamore because she didn't want to go swimming in that lake or walk on the docks, which, by the way, great improvements on the docks, but we still have a goose problem. Many different alternatives that we could look at instead of what has been proposed.
But there isn't a goose problem in Lake Mayapack.
No,
Or
Chamber
they're
Park definitely has
invisible.
goose. I go out there all the time with my kids. I won't let them walk on the path because we literally have to avoid everything that we can.
Somebody counted them, there's 88 Canadian geese on the lake, according to this person that gave me the number.
It's probably somebody who wants their front lawn cleaned up, because I've never seen 8, let alone 88 on that.
I see them flying. I definitely
No, I see
do.
them.
They've
They
had,
pass
they had
over.
I was at the Lake Meeting District meeting Monday night, and, as the advisory from the board. And I think their scouts or the company that they hired was either 55 or 65 that they thought that they could round up. And that was just on Mayapack. I'm not sure what they said on Cassie and Seacorn, a couple other lakes. But I think it was either 55 or 65, I don't remember the exact number.
But even rounding up, if you did round up 50, there's millions of them. The next batch could stop here
Dave,
flying over.
it's
It's
endless
a
cycle.
waste of time. Yeah, there's millions
Endless
of them
cycle.
around.
I've been there 40 years. My daughter has a fence up, she doesn't get any. I have some
Right.
trees, so it's kind of hard for them where I am.
You know why we have a geese problem? During the winter months, when they're flying over this area, they see open water, and that's where they go. They migrate to open water, because the lake has so many bubblers on it. It keeps a lot of the water open, and when they see open water, they land in it and they stay there. They
Which
don't
is-
migrate south.
Hold on, we've had geese issues since I remember Lake Mayapack freezing over all the time, and I can remember a goose biting me over at one Mayapack Plaza when I was a kid. We've had geese issues for decades before we put bubblers out there.
But they do look for open water.
Yes.
When they're flying south,
But they don't
I
fly
think there are
south
many good
anymore.
alternatives that should definitely be researched
They don't mind.
That's what
before.
I'm saying. Rather
killing
than
the
rush
animals,
into
absolutely.
This craziness again. Because this would be like the third time it's been done, and it Doesn't
vote-
solve any
I
problem.
vote
geese?
no, well, I can't do it.
Regular.
I can't do it, I can't vote. They will know my feelings on that, so
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
easier to shoo them away, and a lot cheaper, too.
Yeah,
Get a
not
puppy.
the beast. I saw them today.
So when's this work
So
session
you're,
going to be?
so you're opposed to harvesting the geese?
probably gonna
Yes,
be
completely.
It'll be
next-
it'll be on
next
next work
week's.
session next week.
Okay,
The Lake Park District will be here presenting
oh boy.
their rationale as to
Okay.
why they should be harvested.
You gotta come to that meeting, though, Dave.
I'll be here.
Come
It's
to
the
the
first-
meeting.
It's the first Monday, I'm sorry, I think it's the first Monday
gonna.
of the month.
No. Dave's
Talking about town board.
Town board meeting.
No, I'm talking
Yeah,
about the
let's
Lake
try some
Committee
alternatives
meeting
first.
you
If the
should go
alternatives
to.
don't work, all right.
Because that's where the money gets allocated, and they ask the board how to spend it.
But they just advise
Right.
you guys on
Right.
how they want to spend it.
We have to
You
authorize
guys
it.
have the vote.
Right, as I said, they give them the advice.
Right,
We're
okay.
getting carp, we're getting more carp too. Dave.
There's
Not
still some of the old
Another
ones in there.
675
Not
carp.
enough, but we're getting more carp.
They should be put in sometime this month.
Oh, the more carp?
Carp, yeah, the DEC issued us they're issuing us a permit for 670 carp.
Wasn't it like 1,500 last year?
In
2 years
17,
ago.
2 years
Two
ago.
years.
2 years ago, and then it was another 600, I
And
think,
they
last
took
year.
10%.
It was only 200?
10% mortality rate.
1,517, none
Annual.
last year.
Okay.
So Dave, 200 were put in 2016, 1,500 in 2017, none in 2018, and 670 in 19. But there's a 10% mortality rate of carp. So they lose
We figure it's gonna be about 2,000.
10, so there'll be about 2,000 within the last 4 years.
No,
that-
2,000 left now. If you put them all
After the
together, after
670.
mortality, yeah.
Yeah, after mortality numbers and what's left will be about 2,000.
So from here on, if every couple of years you put in 200 or
Correct.
so,
Correct.
it'll
That's
go
what we're
on
hoping.
forever.
Systematically
hoping
keep it up
that-
to date, so we don't get a giant gap like we did from the late 90s, early 2000s.
DEC is trying to set up a formula, analyze it every 2 years, and keep it balanced.
Oh, now we're talking about the carp
Carp,
that are in
on the
Lake
carp.
Mayapack. So Kirk Lake gets the approval every year, and I think they do the same thing. They hired a lumologist, I think it's called a lumologist, a person who studies lakes. And they made their report to DEC. DEC, like that, gave the permit. I'm hoping that our advisory committee can just systematically get this application in annually so that we can get it similar to what Kirk Lake does. I think it's two different regulatory authorities, so it probably has a little bit of the bureaucracy that goes along with it, with red tape. But it should definitely be done systematically. I know Kirk Lake, and unfortunately I found out the hard way, we will no longer be draining out Kirk Lake completely after last year, because this lumologist said that actually promotes the growth of the algae and bacteria come spring and summer. So they know a lot more about that stuff in science than we do, and hopefully it'll be able to control it. But carp right now seems to be the answer for Lake
Yeah.
Mayapack.
Well, I guess they don't really drop Lake Mayapack anymore like they used to.
No, we had the issues a couple years ago, right, where
What's
we
that?
had a lot of private property that was damaged from
Yes.
the lake not getting dropped.
Not getting drained. Now,
And I
we
remember-
actually just closed the valve. We closed it, so
Yeah.
no more water is releasing from the lake.
There's a tremendous amount of garbage, too, from the high water table.
Gets
that
washed
we have
in.
to take out.
Yeah, well, I remember a couple of summers where it never, they put it
It
down
didn't go
too
down,
much,
so
and
it
then we
destroyed
didn't
it. And it
have
never
a
came
rainy
back up all
spring,
the
and
way.
it never.
I remember
came
the
up.
marinas were telling me that they had a lot of issues with their business that year because they didn't have the deeper waters that they expected, which obviously when you have an economy that kind of goes around the waterways, it's
Yeah.
very difficult. So it's something that the advisory committee, I think, stays on top of pretty
Yes.
regularly. Mike being the liaison is staying on top of it and just try to get stuff done systematically and make it appropriate.
Another problem that you know of is the zebra mussels. They're in Lake Mayapack now.
To stay,
And-
you can't
To
do
stay,
anything about it.
yeah,
I know.
there's no means right now of
Yeah.
eradicating them or dealing with them. But they're clogging up our intakes
Yep.
for our water districts. Also, the fire hydrants, the dry hydrants that the firemen use, they're finding that they're clogging up the dry hydrant intakes. So we're gonna have to send divers in to clean those intakes out as well.
No, we do it annually at the VFW
We
where
do.
they do it, so we're probably gonna be looking at a system, an annual type
Of
cleaning,
the
if
dry
not,
hydrants also.
Yeah.
if not semi-annual,
have
if
to
it
be
gets to be a bad enough
semi-annual.
problem, yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
You know, while we're on
mean-
the subject of the lake,
I-
is that still that rock that they call Sunken Island still out there in the
No.
middle?
No, it was removed.
You sure?
That
Was?
was taken
Divers,
down a
they
couple years
hired,
ago.
they contract, the Lake Park District contracted with somebody to
Took down a lot of the
remove those
rock
rocks.
outcrops.
I know they said that years ago,
Yeah,
but I've
all
seen
over.
it since.
That's why I'm not hitting my
That's why you're not
propeller
hitting,
anymore.
that's why your propeller, Susie, you're
I
missing.
thought I was
Saving
navigating around
hundreds
and I
of
was so
dollars a year
happy. All right.
Dave,
Me too.
Cyclical economy, here's your map. Come back in a couple hours.
That's zebra mussels.
Oh, is that the picture from the hydrant that you sent us? Yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
There is something good about them.
They look,
They filter like 1,000 times their body size
They
every
do.
day.
They're supposed to be great for the microbes on the
Why
bottom.
water, it's a vicious cycle, that's why the water's so clear, that's why the weeds grow.
Yep,
the water's clear and the weeds are growing, and they have a lot to do with it, but you see how big they get?
yeah. Well, you probably shouldn't, they probably should have stopped the fishing tournaments years ago.
Yeah.
All those boats
Yeah.
are coming
I
from
agree.
strange
Susan,
lakes.
did you see that?
Yeah.
In Lake George, they make you clean the boats before, every time they're put in the
Candlewood
water there.
Lake
You
also.
cannot put them in that lake.
Steam cleaner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's too late.
It's too late now. Yeah, we should have done that many, many, many years.
Are
Yeah.
you around Friday? Okay, I'll call you. Thanks. All right. Yeah, that's Friday. That's what we're gonna talk about. John?
Yeah, I just want to do a quick follow-up to number 7, the petition, which I just got 10 minutes ago. Based on my very quick reading, but also my superhuman powers of comprehension, this looks pretty significant. This, in my summary, very, very quickly, it's talking about Centennial Golf Course, it's talking about waiving the 3-acre zoning provisions for single-family houses down to 1 acre. That opens a door. I think that we all know. I have some administrative questions, I guess. So by vote tonight, this petition was referred to the planning board?
Yes.
Correct.
Is that?
For comment.
Yeah, I get it. Is that referral?
It's to get it out in the public.
What's
Is that
I
mandatory?
only voted yes to get it out in the public.
Greg?
The referral, once you receive the petition, is mandatory. You do have to refer it to the planning board.
Okay. I read the town code or regulation very quickly this afternoon, not even knowing what context I was going to be talking about. And it seems to me that I read that unless there is some sort of affirmative action in some form or fashion taken within 30 or 45 or 60 days
45 is the number.
of the referral, then the petition essentially is agreed.
It's not
I could be wrong.
approved, but the recommendation will deem to be a positive one from the board from the planning board, unless there's some written recommendation specifically against it for
Okay.
conditioning, whatever the recommendations are. But it's not an approval of the zone change.
Okay, but it's by virtue of
The lapse of the
the
time.
lapse,
Yeah.
there's something happening there. So how do we assure, well, it's not to you, but just for the board, I don't even know if it's your responsibility, how do we assure that that doesn't happen? That is to say, if there's no comments or recommendations, we're on to whatever the next step may be.
Well, then it's-
I
then
guess
it's-
we can just keep on, I mean, I don't know because we can't interfere with them, but I would assume we can keep on asking them, do you have any comments?
Well, you got your master plan too, that we're gonna be
Well,
working on.
yeah, I mean, no, I think he's talking about so the 45 days doesn't lapse.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
That's
so,
Oh, no, we'll-
so, he's saying like if, how can we, like, I don't wanna
Follow-up.
say,
It's a
yeah, I guess
diary,
a follow-up, like,
diary
it's
the thing.
not in our purview to do it, but we
I
want,
follow-
like,
I-
you
I-
can keep on asking,
I
hey, do
follow
you
up
have
on it.
anything for it?
I know where the clock is,
and-
you know,
Yeah.
when the clock runs and when it's gonna
Right,
expire. So in between, John?
Yeah.
I'll make sure I send emails to the planning
Okay.
board chairman.
This is, again, reading it very quickly just now, this, as I said, this is big. This is a big one. Because this, again, changes that
very big.
3-acre zoning. It's
Yeah.
big. I have a couple of quick questions just based on what's in the petition, very quick. It refers to keeping this petition and what it's asking for would keep in conformance or in alignment with the town of Carmel's adopted Greenway Compact Program. What is that?
The Greenway Compact Program is a legislative initiative from the 90s that allowed the towns, certain towns in the Hudson River Valley Greenway, which Putnam County is part of, obviously, to legislate in certain ways, and mostly, John, as it pertains to legislating off the banks of water bodies, navigable water bodies, which we only, I think, Lake Mahopac is the only navigable.
Navigable.
Right. Which the compact was adopted. There hasn't been any specific legislation that would be authorized under the compact. The compact was adopted, I think, in 2013. There hasn't been any specific legislation since that. I'm not necessarily sure that I agree that that particular petition relates to it, but in some tangential way it may.
Well, it's in there. I'm
Right,
just saying, it's
I
part
saw
of
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it has no bearing, but I get it. We're not going to talk
Minimal,
legality.
I believe.
Well, there's no navigable bodies of water other than a pond that I guess
Oh, up
you
there in
can
Centennial?
put a small rubber boat in. I don't
It's
know.
mostly the navigable waterways. There may
I'm
be some
with you.
other legislative component of it that relates, that's all I'm saying.
Is that the same as the Greenway connection? Because that's also.
Greenway
referred-
Connections was within the Greenway Compact, that's the,
Okey-doke. The last question, again, just administratively, the petition refers to at least 2, maybe 3 attachments, none of which are on the petition that I have. Where do we get those attachments, which are critical, because one of the attachments refers to a site map and where this cluster may actually arise?
The attachments aren't attached to the submission?
No.
Or
This
how
is
can
what
we
I
move-
got. I don't know what
how-
it was.
How can we move it ahead?
Well, you can't, unless there are attachments somewhere else. Anyone read this?
I do not, I have that.
Anyone read it?
Okay.
I just read it. There's no attachments. And the attachments, I said, are critical because it refers to site maps, et cetera, which are critical to the overall issue that's being addressed
Put it
here.
off 2 weeks until we get the attachments?
We'll have to get the attachments.
Yeah, you have to.
Okey-doke.
Can't act on it until we get those.
No.
So can you withdraw the vote somehow? Because it's already been approved, I think.
You can rescind the resolution. What I would suggest is that the planning board, when they get the referral, be referred to that particular component, that the attachments are missing or they're not included, and you recommend they don't act until they have the full submission or the full petition.
Make a resolution, we rescind the petition until they send us everything.
Yeah, the petition was approved. The petition's incomplete. I don't see how you can.
I can agree.
Nothing's
I can
approved
agree
about
with
it
that.
at all. Nothing's approved. It's just
No,
been
I
fired,
mean,
yeah.
the approval of the petition being referred to the planning board.
Yeah,
It's an incomplete document.
You could rescind the resolution referring that April 30th petition to the planning board pursuant to 15676.
I
So if you want to do
second.
that, you can adopt, you can't second it, but you can adopt what I said.
You have to,
And then
you have to
somebody
say
else
we're
can
looking
second
to,
it.
I'm adopting what Greg said.
And let them come back, with everything. John, pay very close attention.
Second.
I'm
This is
making a
one of the
motion of what
several
Greg
The
said.
resolution,
things I told you are coming
second
up
it.
in Lake Carmel.
amending the
No,
resolution.
I get it.
To what, John?
So
And
Annie,
what
So I'm
I'm
glad I came.
amending,
Important things in town that
So
no
wait-
one's
rescinding the
looking at.
resolution.
I am
Rescinding
rescinding
it, or-
resolution number 7, and if Greg can,
Motion to rescind
Motion
resolution
to
number 7
rescind.
as passed and adopted.
And
Second?
I said it.
Councilman
You
Snyder
seconded
can
it,
adopt
you
that,
said
and you can
it. We'll-
second it.
we'll- I'm in favor.
everybody second
we're
it.
in favor of it, yeah.
Everyone seconded it?
Yeah,
And roll call?
roll call?
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Schneider?
yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. Motion unanimously carries.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Fish? Yeah. Okay.
Did we need to
I mean,
do
we-
something
we-
to an amended
Yeah.
resolution? We do, right?
We just did.
No, we rescinded a resolution.
we
We just
There
took
was
it
no
back.
amendment.
I thought we were supposed to do an amendment that says until the full
No,
submission.
you rescinded it, it's done, okay? And then when you get if there are attachments missing, then you can just vote it like you did tonight, to
Okay.
refer it, and the clock won't start till
Won't
then.
start until then. Okay.
Again, you can extend their clock.
Can you reach out to Mr. Schilling?
It's gone, but I certainly will after.
And find out where the attachments are?
Sure.
Okay. Norm?
There's
Yes.
somewhere.
Thank you again. About the carp, we've been doing that since when I was on the town board, and the geese as well. But I know that they are sterile carp, right? Why did you ask the DEC or whatever, DEC, yeah?
They regulate it. It's
I
their
know,
deal.
and I'm asking, can you put in carp that can do, they'll enjoy it, and we'll get fish without buying them every year.
Well,
You can't put any fish in the lake without the DEC
Yeah.
approval, and
I
they
understand.
balance the fish types in the lake.
the fisheries wouldn't allow that. The DEC regulates
They
that.
control them all.
Has anybody said we
Yeah.
want to do it?
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
that's
Yes.
all I'm asking. Because I was always, we're putting in fish that don't multiply, and you don't know how many people catch them and don't put them back. I mean, we have a law, I think they have to
Well,
put
you can't
the
catch
carp
them.
back.
They
You
don't.
can't catch them.
Why?
They're vegetarians.
Oh, they eat dough balls, those
No,
carp.
they won't.
No, it's very, very hard. Almost
No,
impossible.
you know how you catch them, and I don't even want to say how you catch them, but you can't
Yeah,
catch them.
don't.
You can't catch
Don't.
them.
Just
Have
leave
you ever
them
been to
alone
Lake
and-
Mead?
Let them alone and let them do what they have to do.
Have you ever
Right.
been to Lake Mead?
No, I've been to Lake
Oh,
Louise,
you
though.
shouldn't have
You
given
walk
them.
out on Lake Mead, that's where Hoover Dam is, and you walk out, and the carp almost jump out of the water to get you. They come up and there's thousands of them.
Maybe those are the ones that aren't sterile. I wouldn't want that in Lake Mayapack.
But I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah.
they're in there and you can catch them, you don't even have to just reach down and grab them.
All right,
Thank you.
Jeannie? Je-
Was this your stuff? Hi, guys. How's everybody? Jean Hopper, Mayapack. I was approached in the last week from several of our Legion Hall members on Bucks Hollow Road regarding their sewer line. So I'm here to ask the town board if there's any new developments, if we're close to getting them a connection.
Well, the gentleman was here tonight, and I think you heard me make some reference to a meeting that we're going to be having on Friday to discuss this.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Did you catch that?
That's what we were discussing.
Yeah, we were discussing that before with Dave.
Right, but you guys didn't say what it was about. You guys just said, oh, we're going to meet Friday.
Yeah, but I didn't want to say
Right.
what it was
Right,
about because
but
it
now you
involves.
can.
Oh, I was
Okay,
wondering, it was very
Jeannie,
secretive.
we're meeting on Friday
Hopefully to
with the
resolve.
property owners to hopefully get this resolved once and for all, with the property owner.
I mean, it's 5 years.
It's
5 years
encouraging.
is-
This-
Longer than
I
5
think
years.
This
the bar.
time,
Longer.
I'm hopeful that we're going to have a positive result, and we're going to be
Okay.
able to move forward with it.
Because my only question is, the Legion Hall had an existing sewer line. It has an existing sewer line that failed.
It has a sewer lateral.
Has a sewer,
It's a lateral. It's called a lateral.
It attaches to.
Right,
It's-
but it
it's
attaches
actually-
to a
It's the line, it's the line.
Right.
But it's,
and they've been paying their sewer fees, so that had to go somewhere.
it
Right.
did. Oh, no, it did.
Right.
It went to the collection system.
Absolutely.
Right,
So
yeah.
again, please pursue this,
Mhm.
because there should be no question as to the other property owner had a sewer line beneath his property. This is an infrastructure issue.
Jeannie, I
That's
promise
right.
you.
I know,
promise
I
you,
know, I hope I am preaching to the choir. I certainly hope
I
so.
will not leave here until this is done. If it takes.
Leave
me-
where?
I won't
The
leave
position
here.
of town
This-
supervisor.
That's
It takes
not good
him
enough.
15
That's
more
not good
years.
enough.
Promise
That's
you.
not
He's
good
here.
enough, Ken.
Well, we're not going to start with that, but.
Yeah, no, we're in
Sorry, one of
June,
those moves
so the
tonight.
blacktop companies are open.
It's too hot in here.
We
right?
have been
We really
dealing
need
with
this
this.
AC.
All I can say is that I pray it
Yep,
gets
yep.
done.
Don't say too much soon.
I'm not saying anything.
Very optimistic, and
I'm
I believe
optimistic
that there is going to be a lot of good things that come out. And finally,
When?
not have to go outside.
When?
Other than to get fresh air from the
When,
American Legion.
Jonathan?
I can't
See,
say when.
Jeannie, it's a.
See,
gi-
this is
it's
what we
not-
need. We need
no,
answers.
listen.
We're not going to work on 6 or 7
Every-
years.
No,
We could have given you answers for the
everyone-
past 5 years. They'd never be correct.
Wait a minute,
Do you really
everyone-
want us to just give you dates? 3
Every-
months. It'll be
Yeah.
ready.
No.
Everyone needs to understand.
We need a solution.
This is not the town of
100%.
Carmel's.
It's not what we do.
We are advocating for the American Legion.
Oh, I understand that.
It is two private partners that we're trying to pull together. Parties, okay, that we're
Right.
trying to pull together. If we could have done anything municipal-wide, it would have been done 10 years ago,
But that's
9 years ago.
That leads to
okay?
my question that it keeps rolling around in my mind, and that is because it's an infrastructure issue. There was an existing sewer line that was fed to the street that cut through the gentleman's property. So
It's
it's not we're
private.
talking about,
No,
I don't
it's-
like your
it's
fence,
a
or I don't
private-
like,
it's
I
a
think part of
private-
Oh, I
the issue was
understand. But
legally.
he had that sewer line.
I
It
don't think
exists
that they
underneath
had
his
an
property.
easement. There wasn't any legal authority to
It's
go
all
in
legal
there.
stuff.
60 minutes ago.
It's a whole bunch of stuff that should have been done that wasn't done. It could relate back to the New York Railroad. It could relate back to a million different things.
Yeah, but I have to say that I think that he bought that property in 2000, 2001, 2002, so it's not that far back. My question is, when that property, the title search, the deed, whatever, tax map, I'm not a real estate expert, but that should have all been cleared. I'm sure that property has changed many hands since the railroad has owned it. I know it was a car dealership years ago, so there's a history there, and this should have, please let me finish. This should have been addressed. When this came to light, when their sewer line, the Legion Hall sewer line failed, we needed to step in. And it's an infrastructure issue. Again, I understand he's a private property owner, but he had something, he's probably not at fault. I don't know who's at fault, but whoever's at fault, it needs to be corrected. Was it the survey that was done in the 2000s? Was it the title search? Was it, the bank? The lawyers, whoever. Someone needed to take responsibility. You're shaking your head, so I'm going to ask you.
There's no responsibility. There was a private line over a second private property, and the line failed.
Right.
It's a completely private issue between these two property owners that the town is trying to facilitate an agreement that will benefit one of our infrastructure
Right.
issues that may be installed. But it's not an issue of title, it's not an issue of...
No, I understand that,
No.
but my concern is that the Legion Hall has also been paying sewer tax, or sewer fee, or whatever you want to call it,
They're-
for the last 5 years while they haven't had a sewer line.
But
So hence, the privacy factor, I don't know, you're the attorney, you tell me. If they're paying us for a sewer line that's non-functioning,
they're not paying for the line. They're paying, they're not paying for the line. The
they're
district-
paying for sewers that aren't functioning. Right.
It's a matter of being within or without district boundaries. That
Okay.
triggers your right to pay that, your obligation to pay it.
Okay,
And
it's just a very cloudy issue, and I understand it's a
Nope,
very
nobody wants to see it
convoluted
any more than I
issue.
do.
I know, but sandwiched between Memorial Day
We all want,
and
we all want to have
Normandy.
it, and hopefully we can have one
It's
big
nice for us to step
celebration
up
when it gets done.
and do what we can as a town for the veterans there.
We are, believe me, we
Okay.
are tirelessly.
5 years. And
I
I
think
brought
it's
it up
been
many
more than
times,
5
and I know
years.
I'm saying
Yeah,
the
you
same
know-
thing over and over, and I'm hoping for some sort of solution, and I'm thinking of different things, and I hope it's much sooner than
Jeannie,
later.
on Memorial Day, a 92-year-old World War II vet
Yeah,
had to use one of those
Yeah.
plastic porta-sands.
it's awful.
It's horrible.
Right,
Disgraceful.
absolutely.
Horrible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree, Ken.
Yeah.
So that's why I come up, and that's why I periodically bring this up, and they're coming to me and asking me what's going on, and I don't really have any answers either.
We should have more information after.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
And then you have 4 businesses that are jeopardized because of that.
Right. Yeah. That's,
Yeah, there's
all right, is there anyone else here for
touchy situation,
open
unfortunately.
forum, new business portion of the meeting? John,
No,
you back?
I would
Just,
You have something?
yeah.
Just a few quick items, primarily CWD stuff. And some of this comes from I think you've probably seen the Facebook group that's been formed, CWD2, which has got a lot of people looking. So just a couple of quick questions that are coming from those folks. First one is in respect to the potential dedicated line to Putnam Hospital. And the question is whether or not there's been any discussions with the hospital about this at all?
I have not personally had any
John,
discussions.
the dedicated line to the hospital?
The recommendation
Oh,
that there be
yeah, yeah,
another,
yeah.
a secondary line to the hospital.
We made it clear that
Okay.
we're not in favor of that. At least
Okay.
I'm not in favor of that.
Okay.
I
Does
don't-
anyone else?
I don't
know
support
if
that.
it matters, but
I'm in favor of it, but I think that the hospital should pay for it independently.
now you're talking.
We're all in favor of it.
But
But
who's gonna,
not to
the
pay
hospital
for it.
should pay for it.
I'm with you.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
I'll go talk to the hospital. I'll go talk to a couple
All right.
contacts I have
You
there
have
and see.
some folks over there that
Yeah.
Yeah, quite frankly, if that just from a risk management point of view, I think if the hospital had a concern, they would have brought it to the forefront a long time ago. But that's up to them. It's a for-profit enterprise. So the next one is, so bids and, bids on the projects, et cetera, in the context of meeting filing dates for grants. Are we going to meet the filing dates for grants?
yes, we are.
Okay, great. When are they anyway, do we know? not that it matters. So they're gonna meet them, who cares?
No,
July.
Yeah, the CFA is the end of July.
Okay.
The EFC stuff is in mid-July.
Okay.
But we're.
EFC is, yeah.
EFC, but the CFA is another big one.
So we're on schedule, as the
We are.
Brits say, to
We
get
are.
those things filed.
We are on schedule.
Perfect.
You don't need the bids, you just need the reports,
Just need the reports,
which you already have.
Great.
Which we have.
Last,
the engineering reports.
Which you've already.
Very important.
the penultimate item is, people have talked about some sort of ad hoc committee with residents and a couple of members of the board, just, to not overlook, but just to be participating in the overall process. Do we have any progress on that? Is that something you guys are amenable to? And if so, is it going to be implemented?
Be okay
And
with
if
an
so-
ad hoc committee, getting a
Yeah.
delegate from the HCCA, right? I mean,
Is that something Mr. Galvin, Susie, was that? was what-
Yeah,
That- yeah, that-
absolutely.
that was
That's
one
what-
of the-
Mr. Galvin was.
But there's a lot of people that,
Correct, yeah. Yes.
Oh, I agree with that, definitely.
I think it's fine to have an ad hoc
Yeah.
committee with a couple liaisons from
What?
here,
Right.
some representatives from HCCA. Anybody who's got institutional knowledge especially would be
Yeah.
good.
So how
Yeah,
do
and
we,
then- and
sort
then,
of organize
John,
this?
one thing that we just wanted to clarify is because one of the things that they were talking about was that they wanted to be included on the bid process and everything like that.
And interview
it-
prospective bidders and
interview
have
prospective
Q&As
bidders.
with
Yeah,
bidders.
That could not happen.
Right.
That's-
It would
I-
be post-bid, but just like we're liaisons to various different communities
right.
and things around.
Different committees and different
we would-
advisory committees.
I don't think any of us up here would have a problem
Yeah, that's all
having
it
two board
is.
members.
You know what it's
People
similar
who
to?
have a vested interest
yeah.
in the
You know
in
what
the
it's similar
project.
to, I think? I don't
You-
know
you
for
just
sure, but
meet-
the committee that was looking with the park, the building of the park,
The
wasn't there?
airport park.
Yeah,
They
wasn't there a
just-
committee or
They
something
just
like-
made they just, well, no, they made themselves a bunch of people got together.
Yeah.
And then the recreation liaisons that are done at the beginning of every
Yeah.
year, we go to the meetings.
There you go.
Okay? So it would
That's
be
all you need.
similar
That's it.
where,
Our
Carmel.
HCCA liaisons will be the liaisons for the
Right.
ad hoc committee.
So
And
that would
Well,
be.
what's
you and
the
me,
Ham?
That would be Susie.
Susie and
think so.
John.
I think we're all HCCA committees.
Susie and John.
Okay.
What's HCCA?
The Hudson, the Hamlet of Carmel
Hamlet
Civic
of Carmel Civic
Association, that's
I'm not so sure
who
we need
started
to
the
be that
Facebook
formal.
CW2
There's a lot of
page.
people that probably
Yeah,
aren't
so-
members, but
Did they start
we'll
the
figure it out.
CW2?
I'll say you should be members,
No.
because they do a
Thank God.
spectacular
Thank
job
God.
putting on
Yeah, I know,
events,
I
keeping
was
Lake
a-
Lenita
I
clean.
was
They
a
really
found-
do a great
I
job
was a
there.
founding member, but.
Oh, there you
okay,
go.
I get it.
So you should put a
And
little
here's
ad
the,
out there.
and we'll figure something out there.
All right,
Yeah?
okay. No, I was gonna talk about paving, but go ahead.
That was actually going to be
Really?
the fifth one. Go, Route 52.
Yeah,
You're going to say that it's been postponed to June?
no.
No?
I'm gonna say that they told me that it was gonna begin at the beginning of June. It was
Which is
gonna
now.
It was gonna commence.
Oh, it's June now, I forget.
We're June 5th today, right?
Right.
6th?
5th? 6th?
Are we the 5th? I thought we were the 6th.
No, we're the 5th.
5th?
Yeah.
I'm off.
Yeah,
See?
yeah, I
Totally, I've
was
been off all
told,
day.
the contractor that's doing the project called me and told me that they fully expect to be geared up and ready to go the first week in June. But the variable message boards announcing the project will be out before the project actually begins. Have you seen any variable message boards up there?
You didn't see him for the farmer's
I
market this past
haven't.
weekend?
Oh, yeah, I did.
I saw them for the farmers.
That's what got me to go, and all the vendors were
I'm
gone by the
overly
time I got
excited about the new Taco Bell, so I can't really focus on
Are you?
much else.
It's only half of the building though.
I bet you
Right.
it's Baskin
It's only
Robbins,
half
the
of the
other
building.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what my
So,
bet is.
so
So
the
John,
road,
I'll call,
so Route 52
Yeah.
is going to get paved sooner or
well,
later.
Route 6, it's gonna start at Willow Road.
Right.
Route 6 and Willow Road, onto 52, north on 52, up to Dykeman Road, I believe.
Fantastic.
They're going all the way up to the end of the cemetery by Dykeman Road.
We're going from fourth world to first.
Milling too, John.
What's that?
Milling, they're gonna mill it. Mill it
I'm
and-
excited.
All right.
I am, I truly am. And the last point, which is, again, a very, very broad issue, but I know it's something, again, folks are discussing in terms of the water, the dreaded New York City DEP, and so on and so forth. The question that's out there, and I don't know whether it was posed via the website, I'm just going to repeat it, is that we talked about the New York City rates in the water allotment that the New York City provides. And if we go in excess of that allotment and I have a question about it, then the rate of the overage charged to the ratepayers is 3 times the rate of the initial allotment. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so my question is this, as far as the allotment itself is concerned, is that adjusted on an annual or some other basis, or does it simply remain the same?
The city calculates the entitlement rate on a retroactive basis. And then
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The city calculates the entitlement rate on a retroactive basis and then imposes the excess rate, which you're incorrect. It's about 2.9 times. But
Right.
it's in the
2.9 versus
So you
3?
guys use
Yeah.
3 million, I'm gonna give you guys, and retroactively, they can look at it and say, we're gonna give you 1 million.
It's a per million gallon charge. The 2020 rates were just published. It's, went up about 9%. It went from a little over 1,500 per million gallons for entitlement to over 1,800. And the excess rate went to about 5,200 per million gallons.
Okay, so, not the sharpest knife in the drawer. So the entitlement is a set number that never changes?
No, the city calculates it retroactively and then imposes the excess
And
rate.
that's where, I think that's where I'm losing you. What do you mean calculates it retroactively?
There's 75 upstate users.
Yes.
And they're all entitled to a certain amount of water. Every
Yes.
year, the city water board calculates what each user is entitled to, off a baseline of what they've used. And they say, okay, your first X number of gallons are billed at the entitlement rate, and now overage is going to be at the excess rate.
And sorry, one last time. The entitlement rate is established by what means?
The city calculates what each of the 75 upstate users is entitled to use based upon their number of users within their borders.
Gotcha.
And
So
the,
that's,
and the water body or reservoir
Okay,
that they're drawing from.
And
So they
since the
calculate it.
city does it retroactively, they can make the number whatever they want based on the total numbers, because I already know what the end result is. They can literally have their actuaries say,
It's kind of how much money they
numbers-
need, how much
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
short.
The numbers,
That's
John's
all
right,
it is.
it's usually triple. The excess rate is usually triple.
Okay.
That's-
so just conceptually then, if you add new users just from whatever projects or whatever, that increases your use of that water, then the rate, we know the rate increases, and then it just is applied to the overage. So the more usage that you use,
Are you
the,
asking if they adjust the entitlement rate based upon any new users that come on the system?
yes,
I can't answer that. I think that they do, but I'm giving you a very brief thumbnail of the calculation process. And as you know, we're in
Yeah.
the middle of a rate proceeding now with a sixth of the other upstate users. And that process is under debate and scrutiny, for lack of better terms. Okay? And we just finished
in
actually.
the courts?
Yes.
It's administrative. We
I
just,
get it.
actually
I
just finished the
understand.
discovery. It's not in Supreme Court as of yet. We just finished the discovery submissions on, I think, the 30th or the 31st. So it's moving forward, and any action that the board takes will be done here at an open meeting.
Okay, last impossible question to answer. Is there a timeline on that administrative?
The
Process.
administrative hearing for those years will certainly be during the course of this calendar year. And my
Okay.
guess would be in the fall. It hasn't been set. There's a series of jurisdictional rulings that have to be issued by the administrative law judge that we argued in March. The ruling has not come out. So our arguments are not just about how the city calculates the rates. It's should the rates apply.
Yes.
We went through it.
I understand.
And the ALJ has to issue a ruling on that, saying, yeah, I'm going to hear this, this, and this, I'm going to hear it all, or I'm going to hear none, and we're waiting on that.
Okay.
And that's going to trigger the next step that the board will take one way or the other.
Here's a very question that has no answer. So if we supported Bill de Blasio for President of the United States, the town of Carmel, do you think that would help us out? I'm just putting
Start
it
a
out there.
petition.
Just putting it out there.
Politics ends at this seat. I can't say anything about that.
I heard he got an endorsement from a town in South Carolina. It's just something I thought of. Anyway, thanks, guys.
We can't get political here. Norman? Is it quick, Norman?
That's up to you. John was talking about the water rate. Do we still tax the city of New York for their property?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we do that retroactively? When they do it to us retroactively,
think
we
this-
turn around, we do it to
tried
them?
that.
I think Albany has to actually tell us what we're gonna tax them, right?
Right.
Two different enabling statutes. The city administrative code is how they charge us for the water use, and the real property tax law is how we tax the city. they're not applied the same way.
I know that. I
Good
was
idea.
just being
I know.
facetious. I just want to say, though, maybe we should really change the rate for the city of New York. I mean, you know, this is ridiculous. They charge our residents for the water, and it has to go through their land, and we should charge them for the land. And let them fight us in
I've been killing Kenny because
court.
I have to leave. But I just have to tell you,
Yeah.
the assessment of the properties is done by a few recognized approaches. There's
Yeah,
income.
there's three of them, I think.
Right, you got your income, your comparative sales, okay? And the city, they have the ability to depreciate their property because of the equipment and control structures and machinery that's on it. So it's trickier than what you're saying, and obviously we can't impose a separate rate unilaterally, but those methods leave room for debate.
I
So
thought
that's
we,
what-
I thought we
Greg-
got utility appraisals out of Albany on
We
the,
did.
right? It's not
and
even us
there's-
that gets it. We don't even do the
And there's
numbers.
certiorari's that are pending
Right.
on multiple city parcels that
Yeah.
haven't been resolved.
Right, I know.
And they may get tried.
Greg, I appreciate what you're saying, but you said trickery. I'm not against using trickery against New York City. Matter of fact, I would enjoy it.
That's the legal lingo there,
Legal
Greg.
trickery.
I know, I said legal trickery, and I'm all for that. But New York City is sticking it to the people up here, you know,
Yes, they
especially when you
are.
do something
sure are.
retroactively.
Yeah.
And that mayor or whoever endorsed de Blasio, I think he was a comedian or something.
No, we changed his name.
So
It
I
was
just
Warren
have two,
Wilhelm.
Kenny, I just have,
Okay.
Susie's got a
yeah, I
couple of
just have
things.
two very quick things.
Thank
We
you.
spoke about the water meters, that the residents, if they received the notices and they did not allow the people to come into their homes, that they were gonna be charged for the people putting in the water meters. And I know at the last meeting, we were gonna have Donna call the people that they were doing. Do you
We-
know if
we
she
did
did
that.
that?
We addressed
Okay,
that.
yep, so just so we'll keep on
We have
mentioning
a
to the
plan.
people to please let the make
The
sure
letter-
you answer the letters
the
that the
one-
people leave.
The ones who don't answer, I'm contacting them.
Okay,
They're gonna
perfect.
get a letter from me and a phone call from me.
All right, yeah, because I don't want to.
On that matter, my children had two houses where she called, they left the paper, we have to do one time, and they set an appointment, they were there right on time, it was at 15 minutes to a half hour in and out.
Oh, my God, I don't think your thing is up.
Oh, is it up?
No.
My daughter did one of her houses, and they set up an appointment, they were very nice, they were there on time, they were in and out within a half an hour, and it was a local plumber.
Yeah. So please just don't disregard it, because in the long run, you're going to end up paying. And also, just real quickly, at the farmer's market, the first farmer's market this past Sunday, it was I think it was a huge success. Some of the vendors actually sold out within the first hour. We are still looking for vendors, but every Sunday we'll be here at Town Hall from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. So come early, though.
We're looking for a pickle vendor.
Oh, yeah, and a popcorn
If
vendor.
anybody knows a pickle vendor, please contact the Recreation Department, speak to Nina, and see if we can get them here.
Yes, they do.
How much do you pay, Sue?
You'd have to
$50 a
call-
session, I
call-
believe it
How much?
call- You can call Nina.
I think they said it was $50 a week when they were here for the work session.
Okay.
I don't think it's 50.
No, I
I
hope
believe
not.
It is a
it's
lot.
20, I believe it's $20, but call Nina, because just call Recreation, 628-78888.
No, pickles and.
We
cake.
had close to 200 people within the first hour. The foot traffic is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. You want to be a pickle vendor? Or mushrooms, they're looking for a mushroom vendor, too. All right, wait a minute, I have one other announcement, hold on. United for the Troops, everybody knows about United for the Troops? It's their third annual golf tournament, this will be really quick, Greg. It's the third annual golf tournament, Friday, June 21st, 2019, at Centennial Golf Club on John Simpson Road in Carmel, bringing a little comfort for our troops. 12 noon sign-in, 1 p.m. shotgun, 4-person scramble, $175 per golfer. There's a bunch of other prizes. The fee includes golf cart, lunch at the turn, dinner, and if you want to go just for the dinner, it's $50. This is a great organization that brings a lot of comfort to our troops overseas. So far, they've delivered 21,000 care packages to our troops overseas. And in each care package is soil. They put a little bag, Ziploc bag with American soil in it that goes over to our troops too, along with cards and letters from elementary school children. It's really wonderful. Jimmy Routhschmidt and Patty Routhschmidt, Luke Routhschmidt, they do an amazing job. Thank you, Jim, Patty, and Luke. Please try to attend their golf outing. Great fundraiser for them. Okay, thank you. All right, anybody else have anything? No? Mike, you have anything? All right, that's it. We're going to close the meeting. We don't have executive session tonight, so we're going to close it from here, and we'll be back next week. Today's the 5th, so that'll be the 12th. The 12th for a town board work session. Next Wednesday, the 12th, 7 p.m. I need a motion to close. D-Day. D-Day. Yeah. Oh, John did. No, John announced it.
I actually thought it was today, because I thought it was the 6th.
Yeah, no, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
You would have been too early.
That's why I gotta look at my phone during the meeting, so I know what day it is.
All right, I need a motion to close. Motion made to close, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. All those favor? In favor? Aye. Good night, everyone. See you on
Have
the
a good
12th.
night.
Good night.
Thanks, you
For
as
a work
well.
session. Good night. Be well.